It's Wednesday, which means it's time for First Look, our unboxing series. And what have we got in the box today? Nothing. That's because this is crypto. We don't do unboxing of real things. We do unboxing of software, protocols, new shiny things. Today we're looking at something that feeds directly into the DeFi 2.0 narrative. Ways to measure and manage your treasury that don't involve renting it from people who are just going to rip it away at a moment's notice. This is Ichi's branded dollar product. It's kind of cool. We will dig into it directly after these messages from our sponsors. Don't let high gas costs keep you out of Ethereum. A balance of the gas-optimized vault architecture makes trading cheaper than anywhere else. Liquidity providers can optimize their fee earnings using the dynamic fee system that automatically adjusts to market conditions. You can also use asset managers to lend out idle assets, dramatically increasing your capital efficiency. And because Balancer is an open platform for flexible automated markets, you can choose from stable pools or weighted pools, and in the future more designs will be created that they don't even know about yet. Check it out at balancer.fi. DeFi users, you no longer need to pay expensive and unpredictable interest rates on your ETH loans. Liquity, a decentralized borrowing protocol, allows you to borrow against your ETH interest-free. Loans are paid out in LUSD, a USD-pegged stablecoin, and need to maintain a minimum collateral ratio as low as 110%. To learn more, head over to liquity.org/Defiant to get started and get the most out of your borrowing needs today. So Dan, the Ichi branded dollar, a branded dollar, doesn't that sound an awful lot like a stablecoin? Don't we have those already? USDC, USDT, DAI? Yes, we do, but these are slightly different. Let's dig in. So Ichi allows anyone to create a branded dollar, your own stable currency, and it doesn't matter who you are, you can do it. If you have a native protocol token, yes, you can issue your own branded dollar. Each branded dollar is worth, well, yeah, $1. And you mint it with the community's own native currency, so WBTC or ETH or whatever you want, basically. It's redeemable 1-for-1 for USDC. So one branded dollar equals 1 USDC. And it's collateralized, completely, fully collateralized, using a combination of a protocol's native currency and stablecoins, so USDC. Unlike some other issuers, there's no need to take on debt to create the stablecoin. So MakerDAO, for instance, you have to over-collateralize, you have to take on a debt position, and then you can mint DAI. No need to do that here, which means you can't be liquidated. And it's fully on-chain. So treasury reserves, all visible on-chain, completely transparent. The tokens themselves give you voting power over the treasury. And that's quite a crucial distinction here, because do you have any control over what happens with USDC? No, you do not. But with a branded dollar, you would do. And what we're creating here is a decentralized monetary authority. So let's look at that. So here's the diagram that explains how this actually works. I'm not going to go through every single piece of this because it gets a little bit complicated and there's no real need. But essentially how it works is you're going to put in 2 coins. So in this instance, you're putting in Bitcoin, but actually it's WBTC and USDC. You put those 2 coins in to make up exactly $1, and that will issue you then a stable coin, which in this case is called 1 BTC, that represents $1. It's not a BTC as in 1 BTC coin. The token is called 1 BTC. And when we look at the other projects that have done this, they all follow the same naming protocol. So it's 1 Uni or 1 Fox, and that represents the branded dollar itself, which can get a little bit confusing, but it's crypto. Those go into the stablecoin minter, which spits out the treasury, which is the BTC or WBTC component in this case, and the collateral reserve, which is the stablecoin component. And those can be transferred one to the other. Then once you have your treasury, you can basically do with it what you want. You could put it into DeFi and start earning yield on it, whatever you want to do. If you want to withdraw, then you take the 1 BTC token and redeem it directly one-on-one for USDC. And that's it. That's how it works. So what problem are they trying to solve here? Well, I mentioned the DeFi 2.0 thing here. It's protocol-owned liquidity. It's a new set of tools for communities and protocols to have greater control over their treasury and greater control over their liquidity pools. So we've seen this with Olympus Pro from Olympus, and Alchemix is issuing bonds through Olympus Pro. We've also seen it in other ways, but this is another solution for that problem. It allows protocols to basically to avoid the problem of having to sell their own token to fund development. Now, back in 2018, we saw this happen a lot as the market started to turn quite heavily bearish and it was looking like there was going to be a lot of bearish momentum. Protocols had to fund themselves. They had to pay bills, they had to pay stuff, and so they sold their own tokens. That's what happens. Selling your own tokens to a community member looks terrible. The optics are not great, and it also affects the token price. So you constantly see messages saying, why is the team selling its own tokens? Teams have to fund themselves somehow. It's an open secret. Teams are selling their tokens right now. You just don't care because the market is generally trending up. But when the market is generally trending down, then there's a lot of hate that comes a protocol's way if they are selling their own tokens. So generally what they need to do is sell them for fiat or sell them for stablecoins, because it's very difficult to do business in the real world with cryptocurrencies. They're just way too volatile. So stables are the way you go. And of course, if you're selling your own native currency into USDC, then you're selling it, you're depressing the price and adding downward pressure. But you're also losing control of your own treasury. This Ichi branded dollar allows you to retain your own native currency, but still get dollar value out of it. And of course, on top of that, not only are you protecting the price, you're taking supply off the market, but you're also gaining control over the treasury that you're creating. So there's a lot of benefits to doing this. So who's done it so far? 1inch have done it, Shapeshift have done it, and Uniswap have done it. And it was really the Shapeshift stable Fox token that kind of made me sit up and take notice of this, because as this DeFi 2.0 narrative starts to really take flight, you can see that projects are going to need to have robust treasury management in place to weather what could be 2-3 year bear at some point in the future. So this is one way of doing that. Best thing we can do now is go and have a look at Ichi itself. So this is the Ichi website. We're going to go and have a look at the app and just see what's going on there. So here we can see the treasury positions of, for instance, the one Uni token or the one Fox token. Yeah, sitting in above $2 million. Not massive, but still enough to do something with. If we want to mint one of these tokens, for instance, if I wanted to mint one Uni, then I would have to put in some Uni. And in this case, I would need to put in 0.09357 Uni to mint 100 one Uni, so $100 effectively. I can also redeem. So if I wanted to redeem, I just type in the number here, and then I would be able to redeem X number of one Uni tokens for X number of USDC. There are some other options for earning a yield in Ichi. So you could stake one Uni, one Fox for Ichi tokens, Ichi being the governance token of the Ichi protocol. And there are some predictably juicy rewards here if you wanted to do that. So once you have minted these tokens, there are things you can do with them. So far, so DeFi. There are farms as well, so you could put in your LP positions and again earn Ichi, although there are some Bancor, Dodo, and 1inch farms as well. Not a great selection, but still something. And then here's some more overview of the treasury. Now, I figured that, as much as I can explain why this is useful, it might be more useful to hear from the team themselves. So I reached out and I spoke to Brian Gross, who calls himself the network steward of Ichi, to learn a little bit more about all of this.
We make branded dollars for their crypto projects. And what this does is it converts this very temporary value locked into community governed assets under management. And it gives them this asset that can be used to do real business activity without price volatility and without selling off their scarce token. So it really accomplishes the end goal of being currency for their community. So we know currency has three main functions: store of value, medium of exchange, and unit of account. This store of value is what we're all familiar with. Just hold your crypto. Crypto projects are excellent at that. But we also know that nobody buys anything with crypto and nobody runs a business with crypto. And if you start making a crypto project support real business activity, you sell off your scarce crypto so that you can get USDC, fiat, or any number of hundreds of other stable coins. Instead of selling your crypto off, you should lock up more of your crypto as your project succeeds and your community grows. Ichi does that. We're solving the problem of mass consumer adoption and real business usage of crypto. So consumers will not accept an offer to deposit or hold scarce crypto for a long period of time because they don't know if they're going to have the same amount of value in the end. You know, if I deposit $40,000, $20,000, and I lock it for your service, what happens if that's worth $5,000 6 months from now? That's not something that people are comfortable with. So you have to be able to give people the ability to think and reason in dollar balances. And businesses have to pay taxes. They have to pay taxes to governments in fiat. They need to make payroll. They need to buy buildings. All of this is done in dollars. They can't do it in a volatile crypto asset. So, but if a crypto project who really wants to drive real usage and do meaningful things in the world just sells off their token for dollars or stable coins, then they undermine all the interesting economics. They lose the ability to coordinate across geographies. So rather than undermining your project's value using any one of the hundreds of other stable coins, you should make your own branded dollar.
So what are the advantages of doing your own branded dollar over using USDC or DAI or another stablecoin of choice? Because there's, I guess, from my perspective, spending power wise, there's no difference. Why is the branded version superior for a community?
Right. So if you're holding, let's say, 1-inch tokens and you decide to use USDC, you have to sell all your 1-inch tokens. If you're holding 1-inch tokens and you decide to use stable 1-inch, you actually have to buy more 1-inch tokens or use the ones you have rather than selling them. So that's the difference. If you drive up the value of that project's governance token, its security token, the economics of the entire project get better, the security improves. If you sell off your coordination token, your security token for an asset governed by another community, then now you've undermined your project's potential success. When you go and trade your crypto for a USDC, you don't get any governance control over what Circle does with the asset. You've now turned that over to their board of directors, their community, their governance, whatever it is, and it doesn't benefit your project. With each time you create one of these, community-specific stable coins or branded dollars, that's also a vote on what to do with the assets backing it. And that control stays within your community. And I think crypto should be about the freedom to use your currency as you see fit, spend, save, and otherwise do as you see fit. We have a factory contract, a lot like the Uniswap factory contract. And for those not familiar with that, what you do with the Uniswap factory contract is if there isn't a trading pool for the asset pair that you want, you make a contract call with the parameters, token A, token B, fee range, and it creates a new Ethereum contract for you. We did that for something we call a decentralized monetary authority. So if you put the correct parameters or the parameters you want into that contract call in a single Ethereum transaction, you will have your own decentralized monetary authority that is a DAO customized for the purposes of managing your own branded dollar and the assets backing it.
I'm curious how you deal with things like depegging. Like, how are you covered for that, and how do you manage that risk?
So the system maintains an inventory of USDC and USDT. So we don't intend to replace those fiat-backed stablecoins. We think that they should be regulated, that they are useful instruments, and we see them as off-ramps. So anytime somebody doesn't want to have their branded dollar anymore, they can just turn it in for a single USDC, and then they can turn that into fiat. So we really appreciate those teams and what they're doing. And ultimately, I think more of those USDC will be in circulation because of Ichi than without. So at scale, Ichi imagines this as massively over collateralized. Like we have the main feature is that you want some of the dollars in circulation backed by that project's scarce crypto. But what if that crypto goes down in value? So we have
no, it's not what if though, it's when.
When it goes down.
It's when, because they do.
Yeah. So the key there is that you maintain minimum over collateralization percentages. Some stable coin projects out there actually desire fractional reserve money. We don't. We think massively over collateralized, massively reserved money is better. So Ichi's minimums keep the system in that state. Aside from, I guess you could imagine everything going to $0 in a single moment. That sort of thing you can't prevent. So you can't have it backed by that and also protect against everything going to $0 or fully illiquid in a single moment. But under normal market declines or a project becoming worthless, by the time it gets to worthless, the system will be 100% backed by USDC. And there would be enough there for everybody who's holding the dollar. Now, that has actually already happened. Now, the second thing is, so what if all that breaks? What if the black swan event does happen? We've partnered with protocols like Risk Harbor to provide peg insurance. So you can buy an insurance policy so that if the value of the branded dollar goes beneath 90 cents for an hour on Uniswap V3, you can go claim 95 cents USDC.
I'm curious how the interest has been from other communities towards Ichi, whether there's a halo effect there, whether the lights are going on in terms of branded stablecoins or branded dollars rather. Are you seeing an uptick in interest in the product?
Yeah, so absolutely. So these we basically built this for crypto projects we were involved with. So I think sometimes innovation happens best when you just make it for yourself because you have this problem. Now, when we go and talk to the founders and core team members of other crypto projects, they instantly recognize the problem because they live that tension every day. They usually tell us that they've been looking for something like that. Their team's been trying to build something like that. They recognize the value. And now with this whole movement from rented liquidity into protocol-owned liquidity, Ichi was already there. I mean, we were already doing that. So now the education that's occurring in the space around that trend is just helping us. So it was already something that resonated with projects, and now it's something that we basically can't launch projects fast enough.
So there you have it. DeFi 2.0, can we even really call it that, is a growing narrative, protocol-owned liquidity, protocol-managed treasuries. It all seems like this great kind of sell-off of a protocol's native currency might be mitigated. I wouldn't think it goes away completely, but it might be mitigated by these new protocols and primitives that we can use to continue spending, continue funding development through what are inevitable bear months ahead of us. So that was it for today. That's Ichi, our first look. If you have any suggestions for us for first look, do drop them in the comments below. Let us know your thoughts and let us know how we're doing. We're trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by Christmas. Can you help us get there? Please do get subscribed if you're not. Get the latest, ding the bell. I'm so bad at this. I'll keep trying to get better at it. But anyway, you know how we do. This is YouTube. Peace out.